Can you imagine a world more beautiful than our Earth? Scientists have now discovered a new planet that is even better than our home. Called a super-Earth, the planet is slightly larger, slightly hotter, and orbits a star with a much longer lifespan than our Sun. Life should develop much easier and better on an exoplanet like ours. We still don't know if this distant world is inhabited, who lives there, and if we humans could ever colonize this superplanet. Particularly fascinating are distant cosmic planets that are inhabited and perhaps even more suitable for life than our own Earth. It is not only ordinary people who dream of contact with advanced civilizations, of the first images of alien beings on other planets, or of possible alternative worlds if our own world no longer offered us security. Science is also interested in this topic and has made amazing progress in the last 30 years. Since the Kepler mission, we know for the first time hundreds and even thousands of planets in space. This vast information inspired a number of scientists to search for these planets. The focus is on our Earth twins, or the so-called super-Earths. These planets are like our home and are even more perfect for life. One of the most important scientific searches in this field led to the identification of 24 superhabitable planets. The process was made possible by a unique combination of advanced astronomy, careful analysis, and completely new scientific methodologies. The result was a list of planets that could surpass our own world in many ways. The search began with the Kepler Space Telescope, launched at the end of the 1990s, which for the first time was able to give us precise information about exoplanets. Thanks to this pioneering instrument, we were able to measure the small variations in brightness that occur when a planet passes in front of its host star. Having chosen a superworld, scientists focused on stars that live a little longer than our Sun. This is especially true for K-type stars, which are somewhat cooler than our Sun and therefore more stable. The lifetime of K-type stars is easily twice that of G-type stars like our Sun. This would theoretically give the planets a longer lifespan. It is clear that life can develop there longer and possibly become a highly developed civilization precisely because the planet has more stable conditions. Among the 24 candidates for the list of worlds even better than Earth are planets that are between 5 and 8 billion years old and up to 1.5 times the size of Earth. These 24 super-Earths were chosen from a total of 5,000 known planets, #KIC983-2379, an overpopulated world. The idea that there are places in the universe that are not only habitable, but perhaps even friendlier to life than Earth, runs wild with our imaginations. We dream of places that might be a bit like paradise. Would one of these 24 survivable planets really be a serious choice for us? One planet in particular stood out from the scientists' search, KIC983-2379, which orbits a K-type star in the Cygnus constellation, called KOI 5715. The planet was first discovered through precise observations by the Kepler Space Telescope and has fascinated scientists since then. KIC 983-2379 is about 1.8 times the size of Earth and is estimated to be 5.5 billion years old, putting it in a unique position in the search for exoplanets. 3 criteria that could be better suited to life than our earthly circumstances have already been met. KOI 5715 is an orange dwarf star expected to be between 20 and 70 billion years old. In contrast, our Sun will run out of fuel in 10 billion years. The atmosphere of KIC 983-2379 may contain abundant oxygen at temperatures that support life. These conditions can support a rich and diverse biosphere, perhaps even much richer and more diverse than on Earth. Imagine a world where even more life flourishes than us, with even more different species of animals or plants, maybe even different humanoids or completely different creatures that we cannot currently imagine in our wildest dreams. The size of the planet also suggests greater gravity, which can have different separated from the morphology of life forms with greater gravity. The life forms living there would probably be tougher and more durable to handle the extra weight. It could also lead to the development of a significantly stronger skeleton and muscles, and the movement and reproduction of such species would probably be very different than as a human. You would feel heavier and your bones would exert pressure. We still do not know to what extent our body would be able to adapt to such conditions. We won't know until the first humans live longer on Mars or the Moon, where gravity is lower. This means you will feel lighter and lose muscle mass and possibly bone mass, back to TIC 983-2379 and the possibility of climate and ecosystem there. We still cannot look far enough into space to visually examine the planets. We have to trust the calculations and judgments of our computers. These computers calculated that the presence of the Moon and the abundance of land and water increased the chances of life and ecosystems there. A large moon can stabilize the planet's axis, which can moderate climatic extremes and encourage the development of advanced life forms. The study of the possible habitability of TIK 983-2379 was led by astronomer and astrobiologist Dirk Schulze-Makuch. He and his team at Washington State University highlighted the special potential habitability of TIC 983-2379. Although the planet challenges our current understanding of habitat and adaptation, this world may therefore be very habitable. But whether here we humans live or settle is still uncertain. The researchers pointed to further studies planned by NASA and the European Space Agency's Plato Space Observatory. The two telescopes again pay attention to the planet KIC 983-2379, which is about 2,964 light-years away. ###the distance challenge. Now that the distance to this world is known, you can guess what the next crop would be for the habitability of TIK 983-2379. For now, we can only dream that one day we could reach worlds that are so far away from us. We have to master faster than light travel to even consider visiting super-Earth KIC 983-2379 in person. However, just for our scientific curiosity, it would be fascinating to know if this world is inhabited or not. In his work on a distant superplanet, Schulze-Makuch also suggested that our experiences with other worlds in space make us more aware of how life-friendly our planet is and that we should preserve this perfectly suitable world. U.S. Of course, the question of the remaining 23 overworlds is still open. Is there another that is habitable for us humans? Another globe at your fingertips? #TOI1452, Water World. How many of the 24 super-Earths do you think would be a realistic choice for us? Let's look at TOI 1452, which turns out to be a bit closer to super-Earth, just 100 light-years away. This world is most likely covered mostly by water. NASA's Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite project determined this, and other ground-based telescopes later confirmed the data. Since these reports, TOI 1452 has been considered an important example of a super-Earth. This planet orbits a red dwarf star about 100 light-years away and is about 70% larger than Earth and 5 times more massive. Its density indicates that it may even have a very deep ocean, although further research is needed to confirm this assumption. Of course, we also need land areas for the alternate world. TOI 1452 may also be a giant rocky planet. However, so far we have little evidence of an atmosphere suitable for humans. The planet could even have an atmosphere of hydrogen and helium, and then it would not be a new home for us humans. A planet 100 light-years away would be accessible for a very long space mission. Let's say that life here on Earth becomes really unbearable after a few hundred years. Then we would definitely be advanced in space travel and could plan a long flight to save our species in the long run. However, scientists and space enthusiasts hope that we will be able to deal with the arc soon. Spaceships could then glide through the folds of space and time and also traverse greater distances. Visiting exoplanets directly and locally would then no longer be a problem. #GJ1214b, the closest super-Earth. GJ1214b is an even closer super-Earth to us, just 42 light-years away.